All right, it's here, test drive time. Time to go test drive that Model Y. See what the hype is all about. I'm curious if there are going to be enough things that are good in the Model Y that will make me make the switch. Because if you're not, switching just for the fact that it's a Tesla or that it's an EV, there are a lot of things about a Tesla that are kind of missing from the Tesla, but present on a lot of other, not even luxury vehicles, but just like mid-range vehicles like Nissan, Mazda, Hyundai. So yeah, I mean, the Model Y is going to have to be pretty good for me to feel like it's justified to make the switch, Thought it was interesting when I was scheduling the test drive that they only gave me one option of a day and time to test drive it, and then if I didn't want that one, then it said to call the location to get an alternate time. So that's just Tesla being Tesla, I guess. Is the Tesla so good that I just don't need these other features and conveniences anymore? Maybe it will be. Maybe that EV acceleration, that Tesla acceleration, will erase everything else from my mind. Last time I felt that EV acceleration was about 3 years ago when I test drove a Chevy Bolt and a Chevy Volt. And yeah, I was close to springing for the Volt, but it's really tight inside. Actually, I took my daughter's car seat down to the dealership and tried putting it in the vehicle, in the back seat, and then realized just how tight that was. And I thought, you know what? Need to wait for a car that's a little bit bigger inside. Been wanting to do the EV jump for a while here, so let's see, maybe the Model Y will finally be the one. So the first thing I notice in here is that it's just really quiet. Incredibly quiet inside this vehicle. And the one pedal driving is a trip to get used to. It's like I almost feel like I should be whispering in here when I'm talking, because it's so quiet inside this vehicle. Now, the only one they had for me to test drive today was a performance, of course, but I've put it in chill mode because I don't want to give myself that feeling of the performance and fall in love with it, because I don't plan on spending that kind of scratch on the vehicle. I don't plan on spending what I think Tony from Tesla said it was like an extra 11,000 or something like that. I don't plan on spending that, so I don't want to fall in love with it. It's really hard to stick to low speed limits in this vehicle because the acceleration is great, but I will say it's nice that it's not super jumpy. Like if you just lightly move forward, it moves forward like you would expect from a vehicle. It's not like jumping out of control. The regenerative braking is really pretty aggressive. Like, you can really just take your foot off the accelerator and it just feels like you're mashing the brake pedal even when you're not. So it's a pretty cool feeling. Like right now, I'm just foot off the pedal, come to a full stop, back on the pedal gently, good gentle acceleration. Getting ready to merge onto a road here. See how it feels to get into a tight gap in traffic. Wait my turn before I punch it. All right, here we go. Get on the road for the first time in a Tesla Model Y. Ooh, doggies. And just like that, I got up to 46 miles an hour in a very tight gap on and there's a red light up ahead, so it's like speed up, slow right back down. Wow, that regenerative braking is really something. I could really get used to not having to move my foot back and forth from the accelerator to the brake. That's pretty cool. Going about 30 miles an hour, punch. Holy cow. 60 miles an hour, just like that. I didn't even really punch the accelerator at all. That was just gently easing into it. I'm gonna find a spot to pull off up here so I can kind of take a look at the vehicle and find a spot where I can do kind of a 0 to 60 experience. The animations are pretty cool. I mean, like, I'm turning the steering wheel and look at the front wheels and the animation they're turning. That's pretty cool. So I'm parked. Here's what the inside looks like. And of course, you park and you go to get out of the car, and what's the first thing you wonder? What do I pull to get out of here? Well, what do I pull to get out of here? Oh, that is deep. Oh, and you just do that, okay. And then I had my phone on here actually, and it didn't slide around, and it was charging. Now on this side, I looked and I wondered, okay, this feels nice, but what do oh, there's a little button right here. I just push that. And then I push it again and the door opens. So it's been kind of rainy here, so it's not perfectly clean, but this is what the one that I'm test driving looks like. It's this nice gray color, which actually looks really nice in person. When you get up close, it's almost got like a little bit of a bluish to it. It looks better in what I'm seeing with my eyes right now than what I'm seeing on my phone as I'm filming this walk around. And then how do you get into it? Well, everybody knows this already, I think. And here's what the inside looks like. And there's that panoramic roof. And the air for the air conditioning comes out of these vents right here. And you kind of control that with your hand. There's a bunch of other videos out there about that, so we won't go into that too much here. Some nice texture and stitching on the door. Feels really nice. The seats are very comfortable. They're not ventilated, which is one of the things that I was concerned about. In this climate, I'm really thinking that that's a feature that is almost necessary, but you can pre-cool the vehicle, so maybe that's gonna be good enough. What happens here if I want to get into the trunk? Is there a button? Yeah, there's a button. Power lift gate. You got the three-way split back here. Plenty of room. Room on either side. Big old space down here. I can stick my arm down in. That's almost, if I make a fist, then that's beyond my elbow. That's pretty cool. And I've heard, yeah, and more space up here. And then that's flat. And then it's a little switch here. Bam, another switch there. Oh, yeah, I had to pull that one twice. I've heard about that, but it's not bothersome if it actually works eventually. 2 pulls. Pretty nice big space there. It does taper back. You know, it does have that taper at the back, so it's not as useful at the back as it would be on a more square looking vehicle, but you could still fit a decent amount of stuff in here. And let's see. Do I fit? Yeah. I fit in here. See? Not bad. Interestingly, my daughter saw one of these on the road the other day, and she knows that I've been looking at it, and she goes, "How do I get in?" She saw that there was no handle sticking out. She's used to grabbing on a handle and yanking on it. And I told her she has to push this in with her thumb and then pull that out. And she said that she's not sure that she could manage that. She's little. I said, well, you know, you could always push in with one hand and pull out with the other, but she's going to be growing up. That's a heavy feeling seat. Plenty of room back here. Let me try to sit behind myself. So sitting behind my driving position, and I'm 6 feet tall, I got plenty of room. I mean, there's probably 2 inches in front of my knees. Do these seats move back? I don't think they do, and it doesn't look like they recline. At least I don't see anywhere to make them recline. Pretty impressive view though from back here. This one has the larger wheels. Somebody's done some damage to the back one, but thankfully that wasn't me. Got those nice red calipers, those are pretty. What does that say down there? It says it's gonna cost you $1,600 to get new tires. I don't know how they got all that in on the sidewall, but that's what it says. No, it doesn't make that loud, annoying beep, beep, beep sound that our Nissan makes when it closes. And it looks like you can get a trailer hitch on this. There's a spot for it down there. I think we would do that just so that we could put a bike rack on it. Now, I've been, tweaking my stereo systems for a long time in my different vehicles. And this vehicle has a sound bar type thing all the way across the front up there. And then speaker there, same thing on the other side. Additional speakers in the back. I'm not sure where else they've got speakers, but they've got plenty of them because it sounds really good in here. There's definitely no need for tweaking in this stereo system. I'm not going to play any music because obviously rights and stuff, but I was listening to some alternatives, some hip hop, and everything sounded really good. I've heard complaints before about maybe the glass roof bouncing the sound around too much in here, but I don't know. I got no complaints. I'm gonna test out some music while I'm driving and see how it sounds. Definitely one of the things that you notice when you drive without the sound system on is just that there's no noise from the engine, so you hear stuff that you wouldn't have heard otherwise. I haven't picked up any annoying little like rattles or any weird things like that on the inside of this vehicle. I know some other reviewers have noticed like that middle seat in the back third row, they've had issues with that kind of rattling or other things, but I don't know, maybe they keep the best ones for their test drive models, but this one feels really buttoned up and nice. It's kind of cool. Even like the visors are like contoured to match this right here, but they don't have like that pull out piece that would go along there. They do slide, which is good. Oh, and that's magnetic. The docking here is actually magnetic. That's kind of cool. I hadn't noticed that before. Yeah. All right, well, let's go drive this thing some more. And then I'll talk about more impressions afterwards. So one of the things that I liked about our Pathfinder was the 360-degree camera, the bird's eye view camera. This doesn't have it, but if I put it in reverse, I do get the sides and the back. I don't get that bird's eye view. I do get the kind of the proximity thing here that tells me that there's some stuff that I need to avoid up front. And it's weird, you take your foot off of the brake and nothing happens, and you're like, oh right, I have to actually use the accelerator. And then to go into drive, I just push this down, and then the vehicle goes into drive, and off I go. It yelled at me for not signaling to lane change, and I couldn't test autopilot, so I had to pull over, start a new drive, and now I'm going to try out autopilot. Okay, first time using autopilot, and I engaged it behind a vehicle that's going pretty slowly, so that's why it's only going 53 miles an hour. It'd be interesting to see what happens here as this vehicle comes on and merges ahead of us. It looks like the Tesla saw it, kind of hesitated for a second. Now it's kind of speeding up because the traffic around me is speeding up. It's interesting that it's saying 65 max. Okay, the speed limit was saying 70, but now it's saying 65, which is correct. And it's speeding up to maintain the distance between myself and the car in front of me. I have to apply slight turning force, which I just did, to keep going with autopilot. I've been driving for a couple of miles now. My foot is hovering over the accelerator. My hand is right here near the steering wheel. But this is my first time letting a car drive for me. It's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I will say it would be nice if it had auto lane change, so that right now I could just, tell it to change lanes to go around this guy that's in front of me, but I'm not sure if I'm willing to pay for full self-driving for that feature. I think I would just take over, change lanes, and then re-engage. Oh, look at that. That guy moved out from in front of me, so now the car is speeding back up again. There we go. Slight turning force, I did that. And with the Infinity out of the way, now we're getting ready to overtake him on the right. This is pretty fun. I mean, it's kind of fun. Not nearly as fun as actually driving this vehicle, which I'm going to do now with my last 5-10 minutes. Oh my gosh, you guys. I just put it in sport mode. Took it out of chill, put it in sport, and put it in sport steering. And immediately I felt a difference. And I did a little acceleration, and I was not ready for that feeling from 60 miles an hour of just like it was just gonna take off on me. Crazy. So I'm sitting in a little bit of traffic, but I'm gonna see if I can safely give it a little bit of juice here by backing off a little bit down to 65 and then 75. Holy cow, that would be crazy from 0. I gotta find a place where I can pull over and and then give it some juice from 0. Holy cow. Going 68 and then punch just like that, 85, and that is insane. Holy cow. Woo! Good news, it looks like I'm going to be the first one at this stoplight here. Here's what the screen looks like with the red lights. I'm the first one at this red light. Gonna punch it. Was not prepared for a Tesla Model Y performance test drive today, but that's what I'm in. Performance. And I put it in sport mode, and I put the steering in sport mode. We're no longer in chill mode. So let's see what this experience is like. It's weird, my heart is racing a little bit just based on the little zigging and zagging that I did on the freeway. Kind of the anticipation of what this might be like. All new experience here. Speed limit is 55 on this access road, so I should be able to go 0 to 60 no problem without being in danger of incurring the wrath of any police officer. Shh. Oh, crap! 65, holy cow! Oh my gosh, and everybody else at that stoplight is still busy checking to see whether the light turned green or not. Yeah, no performance version for me. I would be in big trouble. So I'm I'm a little shaken by how much I enjoyed that. You guys, there's like this little sound like you're in a Star Wars movie or something when you punch it in the performance, and it just takes off. And yeah, it's exhilarating. It's really exhilarating. Wow. I didn't really do a 0 to 60 in chill mode. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I ruined it. Maybe I ruined everything for myself by doing the 0 to 60 in sport mode in the performance. But honestly, I mean, that was amazing, but I don't need that. I don't need that on a daily basis. That temptation to just be like, see ya, and then there'll be like a cop there going, oh, you seem to be wanting some paperwork. Yeah, no. I'm sure I'll be in trouble enough as it is with just the long range version. I gotta tell you, I wondered if the vehicle was going to be good enough to make me just forget about all of the things that that I thought that I really, needed from vehicles that I've had for the last 8 years, stuff that I described in my first video. Okay, there's nowhere to put my sunglasses up here. Just a giant cavernous bin to collect things in. But you know what? I think I could make it work. Honestly, it's a pretty exhilarating car to drive, and to have an exhilarating car to drive that's also pretty practical as a family vehicle is, I mean, what else could I really want? I think I might be sold. Yikes. So one thing I will say is that the visibility out the back is kind of limited. I don't know if you can see back there, but yeah, you don't have a whole lot of view out the back. Not that that's terrible. When you're backing up, you've got the backup camera and a nice big screen. And when you're driving, the left side of the screen over here is showing you everything, that's going on around you on the road. So it's not like a huge deal that you don't have fantastic visibility out of the back. A lot of the other things kind of make up for it. So one of the things that I thought that I might miss driving the Model Y was this instrument cluster, but honestly I didn't miss it at all. Maybe it's because I've watched so many videos on Teslas, but I honestly didn't feel like it was something that was glaringly missing, to have that instrument cluster right in front of me. What I do like is the heads-up display in my wife's Mazda CX-5 Signature. That is nice to have, and I wish that the Tesla had that. But of all of the things that I thought that I would miss, interestingly, the seats in this Pathfinder are really comfortable. Nissan really does know how to do seats. The seats in the Tesla are comfortable as well, and maybe I just didn't have enough time to play around with them to find like my perfect spot, like my perfect configuration. I liked how the steering wheel was so easy to telescope in and out and adjust. I felt like it had good adjustability. The steering wheel is a lot smaller than the steering wheel in this Pathfinder, which I found interesting, but it went hand in hand with kind of that sports car kind of handling and feel. I didn't feel like it was too small. I liked it. Honestly, getting back in this big Pathfinder, I'm missing the zippiness of that Tesla Model Y already. And honestly, I miss how quiet it was in the interior of the Model Y. That double glass and whatever else they've done to the construction of that vehicle, you can really tell that they've done a good job of building it to be quiet, and that's probably necessary because you don't have like the noise from an engine to kind of drone and drown out things in the background. I drove a lot without the stereo system on because I listened to the stereo system while it was parked, and it was great. I didn't need to hear that while I was driving. I wanted to kind of get a sense for whether it was so loud in the vehicle that because of the the lack of an engine, that you would like feel weird having a conversation. But actually it was the opposite. It felt so quiet in there that you could almost have a conversation whispering without having to talk over all of the road noise that I hear when I'm driving this Pathfinder. So that was surprising. And that 0 to 60 in the performance in sport mode was something else. I mean, I haven't felt something like that in a vehicle ever, because you're not thinking like, oh, I need to shift or anything. You're just strapped in and punch it, and you're gone shifting. So you're busy doing other things, and you're not experiencing just the pure acceleration as much. But you're experiencing driving a little bit more, probably. If that's how you think of driving, shifting gears and feeling the revs and all of that. You're not going to get that from an EV. You're not going to get that kind of experience, man and machine connection. But I was never really like a car guy that had to have that connection. The performance, though, I do feel is kind of a party trick. Okay, hate me all you want in the comments, but I don't think that that's something that I need. The performance version in chill mode was quick, and when I got back, they said that the all-wheel drive in sport mode, or in whatever its standard mode is, non-chill mode, would be quicker than the performance was in chill mode. So that's fast enough for me. And to have a vehicle that's fun and exhilarating to drive, but is also a family vehicle that's practical and looks cool and saves us a bunch of money, that's the dream, right? And if it's going to hold its value well, and I'll be able to sell it in 4 or 5 years, however long, and upgrade to whatever the latest and greatest thing is, then I don't see a reason not to get it. I'm kind of sold, like I said earlier. Just a matter of I think the next thing that we'll do is take the wife and daughter down there and strap everybody in and go for a drive. I don't think we'll do the 2-day test drive thing. I don't know at this point. Maybe I should drive a Model 3, but I don't think the Model 3 is going to work out for like our family and what we need, and if we decided to take a road trip. So maybe it's better if I don't drive it. I do like a little sporty sedan. That's what I've had really up until the point where I bought my wife the Mazda CX-5 Signature Turbo and took over driving this big old Pathfinder So part of me really wants to just get the sedan, but if I can get something that's more fun to drive than any sedan that I've owned, you know, in the last 15 years, 20 years, and is still a practical family vehicle and will save us money, then I think that seals the deal. Future Model Y owner here, maybe. Oh, crap! 65, holy cow! Oh my gosh, and everybody else at that stoplight is still busy checking to see whether the light turned green or not.